An anthology on the bad, the short-lived, and the forgotten shows and events in television history. You are listening to It Was a Thing on TV.
On this week's Super Train Mystery, Hail to the Chief. Two dwarfs and a magician replace a presidential candidate with a double so real, even his wife can't tell.
Episode 530. Submission number 117. Team Knight Rider. Team Knight Rider aired in weekly syndication from October 4th, 1997 to May 16th, 1998 for a total of 22 episodes. That is a crock block with 6 episodes left over.
Now, after the last episode, I need to make a declaration. 22 episodes is 3 less than a reel-to-reel picture show. Isn't that right, Ghost of Bill Armstrong?
That's right. 25 episodes is a reel-to-reel picture show. Now, guys, I have a question. Why the hell couldn't Boyer Murdoch have reported me for the entire run of the New Lives Club?
That's a good question. We'll think about it while we hear the theme song.
10 years ago, all it took was one man and one car to get the job done. Now, the Foundation for Law and Government has assembled 5 highly skilled operatives and paired them with the most advanced state-of-the-art vehicles to take on a new breed of outlaw. They are Team Knight Rider.
In 1982, Glenn A. Larson showed the world that one man could make a difference, so long as that man had the charisma of David Hasselhoff and the financial backing of the large paramilitary organization known as the Foundation for Law and Government, or FLAG for short, supplying him with the means to carry out the organization's mission to champion the cause of the innocent, the helpless, and the powerless in a world of criminals who operate above the law. The means, of course, being an artificially intelligent computer fitted into the hub of a nearly indestructible Pontiac Trans Am called KITT. It was his last project for Universal before moving to 20th Century Fox. It was canceled after 4 seasons of 90 episodes, with NBC thinking that they wouldn't get much mileage out of it in syndication. Pun very much intended. That would come to be known as mistake number 1. With the show performing well in syndication, NBC tried twice to bring it back with 2 pilot movies, Knight Rider 2000 and Knight Rider 2010. Neither of which, A, made any sense in retrospect, and B, got an audience that would justify a series. Fast forward to 1997, and while all of network television is trying to beat Friends and Seinfeld and failing miserably, First Run syndication is having a moment with shows like Hercules the Legendary Journeys, Xena Warrior Princess, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Babylon 5, and Time Tracks. Universal, blocking its offerings under the mark of Action Pack, thought about bringing an updated take on the Knight Rider premise, going back to the original premise of FLAG. One man can make a difference, as long as he has a superpowered car. So writers David A. Goodman, who went on to work with Seth MacFarlane on his many projects, including Family Guy and The Orville, and Rick Kopp, who wrote, among other things, the Brady Bunch movie and several episodes of Wings.
Guys, it's now hard to believe, but it is now officially 230 episodes ago since for the first time I mentioned on this podcast that I love Wings.
Seems like only yesterday.
Mike, I know you're amazed. It's now 230 episodes since for the first time ever I mentioned I loved Wings.
Does the Ghost of Bill Armstrong know this?
What do I not know? Bill, back in episode 300, I had a deep, dark secret that I want to reveal to the whole universe. And you know what that deep, dark secret was? Well, what was it? That I love wings. Why the should I care that you love wings, Greg?
I think we all should care. I mean, it made Tony Shalhoub's career.
Well, you see, Bill Armstrong doesn't care because Tony Shalhoub never came up on the Reel to Reel Picture Show.
Or the New Liars Club.
It would have been too early for Tony Shalhoub to be on the New Liars Club.
Listen, Bill, how dare you say why the F you should care that Tony Shalhoub's career was made by the show Wings? Bill, get out of here. Just don't ever show up on this podcast again. You were here for one taping. That's it. Get the out.
So anyway, Rick Kopp and David A. Goodman, they saw the premise of Flag. One man can make a difference. 5 times the manpower. 5 times the difference. So the story goes like this. 5 agents were recruited for their particular set of skills to operate under Flag's new project, Team Knight Rider. Following on the tailpipe of Michael Knight, their mission is to champion the cause of the innocent, the helpless, and the powerless in a world of criminals who operate above the law. Each agent is paired with a super vehicle that, not unlike Kit before them, is a fully sentient, multifunctional artificial intelligence housed within the hub of a near-invulnerable chassis, 3/5 of which are provided in a bit of in-show product placement by the show sponsor, Ford. We have the leader of Team Knight Rider, Kyle Stewart, a former CIA agent, who drives the DNT-1 Dante, a modified Ford Expedition SUV with enough room to transport the entire team and function like a mobile command center. Second in command is Jenny Andrews, a former Marine and Gulf War veteran, who may or may not be the daughter of Michael Knight. She drives the DMO-1 Domino, a modified Ford Mustang convertible, whose AI is a sleek, sexy, and flirtatious sort, who's also talkative and likes to gossip, much to the annoyance of the other vehicles. Former Chicago police officer and small-time boxer Duke DePalma drives the Attack Beast, or BST-1, a modified Ford F-150 full-size pickup with off-road capability, whose AI has a stubborn and argumentative attitude that talks tough and is not afraid to stand up to a fight. He also has a fondness for the music of Alanis Morissette. And then we have, rounding out the team, Erica West, a former con artist and thief, and Kevin Trek Sanders, a geeky tech genius whose parents are huge Star Trek fans and, rumor has it, conceived him at a 75 Star Trek convention. They drive the twin motorcycles Cat and Play-Doh. They fuse together to form a high-speed pursuit vehicle capable of high speeds and incredible maneuverability, which kind of sort of looks like a speedboat with wheels. The team is jettisoned by Sky 1, a massive C-5 military cargo airplane with special vertical takeoff and landing capability that acts as TKR's mobile base and vehicle transport and carries a crew of 65, including field ops, flight crew, maintenance crew, mechanics, fire crew, medical staff, and 1 chef played by the series creator, Rick Kopp. So let's talk about the cast. Playing Kyle Stewart is Brixton Carnes, who, before this, was actually a pilot in Tank Girl and an officer in 4 episodes of The Client. No longer with us, he died in 2012. Voicing his card Dante, Tom Kane. He was the voice of Yoda in Star Wars The Clone Wars.
Yes.
And the narrator in many Star Wars animated series. Playing Jenny Andrews, again, who may or may not be the daughter of Michael Knight. Christine Steele, who's that lady from That Thing. She played a notable role in episodes of Outlander, but that's the latest credit that she has. But she was on one episode of 18 Wheels of Justice, Greg.
Cool.
Her car, Domino, is voiced by Nia Vardalos, who went on to do something with a big fat Greek something or other.
Something with John Corbett.
And Joey Fatone.
Oh, yes, the future announcer of Family Feud, Joey Fatone. What would you expect to find at a big fat Greek wedding? Cheer.
Playing Duke De Palma, Dwayne Davis, known for such roles as a jock in Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, very dumb football player in Beetlejuice, and Alvin Mack in a football movie, The Program.
Is that really what he's credited as in Beetlejuice? Really dumb football player?
Very dumb football player.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not real dumb. Very dumb. Oh my gosh.
Well, remember, this is the football team that died in a bus accident and didn't know they died.
Is that sort of like Alan Thicke? He died, but we don't tell him that he died?
Don't tell him he died!
I didn't say I was going to tell him he died. I was saying, is it sort of like that?
Mike, we've established the continuity of Alan Thicke on this show. He arrived in Ed Begley's TARDIS, and somehow he's stuck in the future, and we can't tell him his own future. Now, you've seen Back to the Future. You know how this works. If you tell him his own future, the consequences can be disastrous.
I know the butterfly effect and all that. That's perfectly fine. But actually, this leads me to a follow-up question. Does Bill Armstrong know he's dead?
Well, I shouldn't have kicked him out then. He's probably wandering around the streets somewhere. I gotta find... I'm sorry, guys. I'll be right back.
He's wandering around the streets, the hustle and bustle of downtown streets.
Aha.
Greg won't hear that because he's going to look for Bill Armstrong. Bill Armstrong is wandering around naked in downtown Vancouver looking for the hustle and bustle.
Mike!
What?
Never mind. Playing his...
Oh, wait, I didn't even check. Is Greg back? Oh, no, he's gone. Oh, no. He actually is looking for... I almost said Neil Armstrong. Damn. He's looking for Neil Armstrong. No, he's looking for Bill Armstrong. Okay, well, let's go on.
Playing the voice of Beast is Kerrigan Mann. A generation knows him best as Goldar from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh, I was hoping you were to say that the voice of Beast was done by Mark Labette.
Erica West is played by Kathy Tragesser, who was in episodes of Boy Meets World, Another World, Baywatch, and did you know that they redid Hunter in the 2000s? Because I didn't know.
This did not have the involvement of Fred Dryer, I would guess.
I believe it did. I believe it was sort of a sequel series.
I do not recall that at all.
It lasted all of 5 episodes. In the role of Kat is Andrea Beutner, or I guess now Andrea Hutchman, who has been in episodes of Parks and Recreation, Angie Tribeca, Third Rock from the Sun, and Family Guy. And in the role of Trek, we have Nick Wexler, who was in episodes of Chicago PD, the full run of Revenge from 2011, and Roswell from 1999. He was also in 3 episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia as Brad Fisher.
I think we need to ask the obvious question. What episodes?
Episode 5 of Season 5, The Waitress is Getting Married. Episode 12 of Season 7, The High School Reunion. And Episode 13 of Season 7, The High School Reunion Part 2, The Gang's Revenge.
Okay, those last two good episodes. I can't really say that Waitress one in season 5 is a memorable one.
Is there ever a memorable Waitress episode? Aside from Mac is banging the waitress.
The one where they go to Jersey.
That's a good one. I was actually going to say, and I think she's on this episode. I might be totally wrong. When the gang goes on Family Fight. Family
I don't
Feud
think
ripoff.
so.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but I thought she had a role in that. But seemingly anytime that Mac has his, let's say, libido going up, he goes after the waitress. So maybe sometime after the show or before the show. I don't know.
No, wait, I just remembered something. The Nightman Cometh featured the waitress. Now, we mentioned Mac's libido goes up every time he sees the waitress. Well, didn't we establish that Mac was gay later on?
That Mac's gay?
Yeah, isn't Mac supposed to be gay, we find out later?
No, well, I didn't think it was something we found out later, but yeah, Mac is definitely gay.
Maybe he's bisexual. That's right. If you're keeping score, 2 weeks in a row, we mentioned bisexuality on this podcast.
And I'm not spoiling anything, but we're definitely going to make a mention to bisexuality next week, I think. Too. Well, maybe not bisexuality, but whatever.
And playing his motorcycle, Play-Doh, John Kassir, a.k.a. the Crypt Keeper from Tales of the Crypt.
You mean that's not actually a 90-year-old man playing that character?
It's a puppet, Mike.
It's a friggin' joke, but yeah, I whatever.
And then we have as the voice of Sky One, Linda McCullough, best known for roles on Guiding Light, Disclosure, and Callie the Rent-A-Car Clerk on 16 episodes of BJ and the Bear.
I know Greg misses Sheriff Lobo.
I'm Sheriff Lobo.
Now we have all of our players. Let's talk about all of the episodes, of which there are 22, so pay attention. Episode 1, Fallen Nation. Team Knight Rider stops the U.S. general's plans to take over the country by destroying a nuclear missile aimed at Washington, D.C. before it enters the Earth's atmosphere. Playing a reporter, T.U. Leak from That's My Line. Episode 2, The Magnificent TKR. When a former French government official, Jean-Claude Laval, steals a top-secret device from the U.S. government, TKR must follow him into a Mexican town to recover it. Episode 3, The A-List. Trek and Erica go undercover and discover that a corporate giant is responsible for brainwashing and killing some of the world's leading technological geniuses.
Playing an office worker, you hear the name, you're going to get the connection. Betty DeGeneres, Ellen's mom.
Episode 4, KRO. TKR is called in to stop a deranged Knight Foundation Ferrari sports car that escaped while being transported to Maryland Industries for reprogramming. Interesting thing, this is sort of a revisit of the car episodes of Knight Rider. And because of that, Flag has developed intentional weaknesses for each of the vehicles in TKR. Playing Mike the co-pilot, Greg Binkley, who is on 18 episodes of My Name is Earl, 7 episodes of Diary of a Future President, and all of the episodes of Raising Hope. Episode 5, Inside Trader. When Erica goes undercover with an elite group of thieves, Team Knight Rider questions her loyalty to Flag. Episode 6, Choctaw L9. Team Knight Rider must recover the stolen Choctaw L9, the government's latest warbird. In the process, Kyle is suspended as the team leader, and the rest of the team must work to clear his name while outsmarting their new leader, FBI agent Kobach. The FBI agent Kobach is played by David Cowgill, who is another cheap-to-get voice actor. But a not-so-cheap-to-get voice actor played a character named Maddox, Jesse Cordy. He played LeFou in the original Beauty and the Beast. Episode 7, Everything to Fear. When Jenny's abducted, the team goes searching for her. Duke and Beast follow her signal and discover the man who grabbed her. The man demands that Duke bring him where he wants to go. He takes away Duke's communicator and they go off carrying a powerful explosive in the back. The team tries to find Jenny and Duke when he doesn't call in. Playing Webster, somebody we already talked about on this podcast, Craig Littler, Jason of Star Command. Episode 8, Sky 1. Terrorists hijack Sky 1 and threaten Team Knight Rider with a deadly gas stolen from the Gulf War. Episode 9, The Iron Maiden. Team Knight Rider must stop 3 superpowered exotroopers under the control of the evil Star. Playing Roland, one of the super agents, Roland Kickinger from Son of the Beach.
Oh, Son of the Beach.
Playing a character by the name of Jasper Killian, everybody's favorite checkout guy, David Ruprecht.
Did he get everybody ready for the big sweep?
He got everybody ready for something. The big name in this episode, and the first of his appearances as a recurring character, the big bad by the name of Mobius, David McCallum. Episode 10, Oil and Water. When cars begin to spontaneously explode, TKR discovers that it's part of German inventor/artist Otto Bruckheimer's diabolical plot.
Fast forward 28 years, and you can replace that German with a certain South African. Am I right?
Episode 11, A2 Dante. While Team Knight Rider works to stop a mysterious madman from bombing local Washington, D.C. historical sites, the TKR cars are infected by a virus that makes them turn on their drivers. David McCallum returns as Mobius.
But we do have one other person in this episode of note, playing the voice of a WTN newscaster, and this person definitely fits the bill. Mark Kriske, longtime weatherman in Southern California, but maybe best known in certain circles for hosting the Nighttime Price is Right pilot in 1994 before Doug Davidson got that role.
Episode 12, The Bad Seed. Team Knight Rider must stop Dr. Toma from infecting the world's biggest rivers with the deadly compound he has been making in his secret lab on the island of San Cartagena.
Say that 5 times fast.
Episode 13, Out of the Past. Team Knight Rider is shocked when they find out that Kyle is wanted for robbery in South America and must travel deep into the jungle to locate him and find out the truth. Episode 14, The Return of Mega Man.
Well, yeah, of course he's returned. He's had, what, like 11 sequels?
And that's not even counting the Super Nintendo sequels. Mega Man X, Mega Man X2, Mega Man X3, Mega Man X4, Mega Man X5.
A strategic weapon capable of releasing a neutron blast that can wipe out millions is on the loose in New Mexico. Playing General William Simonson, George Stanford Brown from Roots and Roots the Next Generation.
I know him best as Terry Webster on The Rookies, talking about the series with Kate Jackson.
And as Nigel Davies, George Lazenby, the guy who played James Bond once.
But remember, he had all the time in the world with Diana Rigg. Yeah. Yeah, 007 was getting busy with Emma Peel, if you know what I mean.
Okay, now I need to look on my DVDs of Married with Children, because I got to find where Al and Jefferson, when they order cassette tapes of the Avengers, they're looking specifically in a certain scene.
But
Emma Peel, but they go, "There's Peel cheeks. There's Peel cheeks."
Didn't they get ripped off?
No, they didn't get ripped off. They were expecting tapes of the Avengers, and they instead got tapes of the Three Stooges, which they absolutely enjoyed more than Emma Peel Cheeks.
Episode 15, Angels in Chains. Jenny has been accused of stealing confidential files, and Team Knight Rider must clear her of all charges. Episode 16, The Blonde Woman. When Team Knight Rider captures who they believe to be the infamous assassin, Eve, they discover it's a man posing as Eve. They must infiltrate an exclusive party to locate the real assassin and identify the man they hold captive before the real Eve kills her next victim. Episode 17, The Ixtafa Affair. When Jenny encounters an old boyfriend, she discovers that he is being coerced into rescuing a Guatemalan drug lord from a remote mountaintop prison. Episode 18, Home Away from Home. When Team Knight Rider loses the infamous hacker Cork Fleming to the KGB, the team must travel to the mysteriously perfect town of Rockwell, Iowa, to locate her. Episode 19, EMP. A device that can shut down sophisticated electronic equipment is stolen, and TKR must get it back. Episode 20, Apocalypse Maybe? TKR must stop the Reverend Ransom from using his seismic weapon to destroy Las Vegas. Playing Reverend Ransom, Ron McCary from Just Our Luck.
And
The Cool Kids.
And
I don't even remember what else he was
we
on.
just covered it a month ago. Harper Valley PTA.
Oh, yeah. Remember when he wanted to get rich off that singing cricket on Just Our Luck, and then he lost the singing cricket, and he was so sad?
Isn't that essentially the whole story with Michigan J. Frog? This poor guy or homeless guy finds a singing frog and brings it to like the talent agent, and the frog doesn't do a darn thing, and takes it to the theater, doesn't do a darn thing. So what's the difference? Singing cricket, singing frog, potato, potato.
Mike, the singing cricket sung Mac the Knife.
Good. Michigan J. Frog saying, "Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal." What's more impressive?
Mac the Knife, obviously.
Hold on. Did the cricket actually sing it, or did it just play the tune on its legs?
No, the cricket obviously sung it.
That might be more impressive than a singing frog. I'll give you that.
Couple more names in this episode, playing Professor Roykirk, William Christopher, Father Mulcahy from MASH and After MASH. And as a nun, or an elder, I guess you could say, Pam Kosh, Mrs. Simpson, the deaf British lady from Saved by the Bell.
One more name of some significance in this episode, playing Caltech engineer number 1, not number 2, number 1, was Robert Allen Booth. We talked about him almost 5 years ago when we talked about Nightstand. He played Mueller, the producer of Nightstand. That sort of Richard Dominic type of person who was on Springer, or he was by the side and whatnot. That was Mueller on Nightstand.
Episode 21, Spy Girls. Team Knight Rider must work with a team of 3 women in order to locate a stolen microfiche and stop the production of a dangerous nerve gas. I'm pretty sure this was a backdoor pilot for She Spies, but I do not know. Episode 22, Legion of Doom. Team Knight Rider must track down Mobius after he frees several of their enemies out of prison. So we have Star, William Key, Mobius, Shadow, Roland. All of the bad guys from the past season have come back with a vengeance. And it's up to TKR to put them either back behind bars or back in the ground, because the TKR vehicles now have weapons. Once they've done that, they follow a whole lot of clues, which leads to the presumed final resting place of one Michael Knight. The same Michael Knight that meets him at that same resting place. It wasn't David Hasselhoff. It was a body double. You would think that they could have gotten David Hasselhoff for one episode. I mean, come on. He was approached by the producers to return. Timing wasn't right. He was still doing one of those weekly syndicated shows that was taking off like gangbusters, Baywatch. They asked him what advice they could give them, and he said, make the show more about the buddy-buddy relationship between the two partners instead of one man and one machine. There isn't really much in the way of gauging how this show did rating-wise. All we know is that the ratings were very low. Also, as a syndicated series, it was not beholden to any one network's way of doing things, so it didn't have to worry about the likes of Friends or Seinfeld, but it was constrained by having to operate on a budget, and it showed. Much of the series was filmed in and around Universal Studios in Hollywood, using a combination of blue screens, projected backgrounds, and already existing props. The HQ of Flag looks like the TARDIS from the Doctor Who TV movie, and one scene made use of the house from Fantasy Island. It just seems like the scripts themselves were very silly, but also sometimes serious. It was basically a show that didn't know what it wanted to be. Maybe if it had like some direction, it could have worked, but unfortunately, the direction was lacking. The show itself was released on MOD for a while and is currently available to stream in its entirety for $15 on the platform of your choice, be it Vudu, Prime Video, Apple TV, or Google Play. This would not be the last that we see of the Foundation for Law and Government. Team Knight Rider started with a lot of promise, started with a lot of cars. But in 1997 and 1998, it didn't grab the ratings that Hercules, Babylon 5, and Star Trek did, and it just became a thing on TV.
You can find us at our website, itwasathingontv.com, on Facebook at It Was a Thing on TV Podcast, and elsewhere at It Was a Thing on TV. You can find us on any podcast player, and we're also on YouTube, where you can subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with our releases, including what's coming up next time. We're going to start next week off with a show that really has a unique distinction. It's the highest rated show in television history that only lasted one season. The reason why it lasted one season, nowadays, I think it would be overlooked. It's not a big deal. But 52 years ago, it was a big deal. We're going to look into this rating smash that caused controversy next time right here at It Was a Thing on TV. Thank you very much for listening. Stay safe, and we will catch you here on Monday with that episode.
Wow!
It began when one man and one unique car waged a war on crime. Now, 5 fearless agents and 5 supercharged vehicles are taking